Me too.
Oh, nice. What high school did you go to?
Felix.
What year did you graduate?
Good morning, I'm here.
Hey, I'm Christopher Archer. Nice
Christopher, good to meet you.
90, long time ago.
Maybe what?
95.
I mean, she wasn't. He looked, she was that way too.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I spent like 15 years down there.
And then where are you now?
Well, my father owned a couple of businesses over there. He owned Sundance Market on 47th and Logan, and Sundance Market number 2 on 47th and Market.
Okay.
So I was
Yeah, I'm from Southeast.
Yeah, I spent 15 summers down there, and that's like in the late 80s, early 90s, not you know when I was a young buck. Yeah, it was yeah, it's I love my home, all of it.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Here, hey.
Party, yeah, that's right.
Speaking of parties, don't you want to take Bethany to his orientation?
I'm from North
Yeah,
Bay
you
today.
did.
Well, I left early.
Well,
The
so
15 goes
Basically,
northbound
that's
to
not
Rancho Bernardo.
you know, because it's doing work and they want you to do like a magic code.
Because of the dead body in the road.
No kidding. Wow.
Yep, dead body.
Good morning.
Good morning.
For Maxwell, but
I heard on the news last night
So
that
I
they
thought like,
closed,
the first one was like
I-5 down by the border
but I
because
don't
there was a
know what
cat
different
on the
that's
freeway. They closed it down for a
kindergarten. I never
cat.
did kindergarten. First period.
Yeah. What time is it?
I have an 8:30 and a 5.
Let him over.
Oh, is it Wednesday or
Yeah, this freeway is gonna be a challenge sometimes.
Thursday, Thursday won't be free in the morning. I don't know why, the traffic's
I'm
like
not.
that.
A little extra early.
Well, you made it. 2 minutes to
Ben,
start.
Ben,
the first day of school, like, wait a minute. You are not the dad.
Alright, sensitivity.
it's just like, when I took Addison that day, oh yeah, mom, I was like, no, I'm not mom.
Another one this morning?
This is Auntie.
You know, our trips are always
We haven't
around
felt a
first
single-
week of school.
I didn't feel anything
You
until
know,
the,
luckily it's not the first day.
I haven't been
Right.
I just haven't figured out why. Maybe I'm like an animal, sensitive. We are animals after all.
I'll say use this. Good morning, how you guys doing?
Morning. Awesome.
Awesome. Good to see you guys here. Bright Eye Bushy Tail.
Morning,
How
Eric.
you doing, man? Good to see you, man.
I got my first decent commission check that was happening.
Woohoo! There you
I
go.
don't have
What'd
it.
that mean? Oh, hey, how you doing? I looked from the back and I thought you were somebody else,
Okay,
man.
man, I get that all the time.
I'm Brett, man.
Nice to meet you, man.
Yeah. I thought it was Hector. It was Hector.
They call me Pablo, you know. Yeah, that's all good, man.
Yeah, I just gotta make some more of those.
There you go. Well, you keep coming, the harder you work, the luckier you get with those checks. That's how it works.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I got it right here.
No, I'm there for like 10 minutes looking at it. I think you need to get my card. You need to talk to someone. Yeah, we'll do it before doing anything.
Different prices and stuff like that.
Stuff right?
Morning.
Good morning, how's everybody doing?
Morning.
No.
Great, thank you. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, happy Friday. Awesome, so, how was your week? How was your week in business this week? Silent, that's how it was, silent. Murmurs, okay, whispers.
It was good.
We got the AC going.
Oh, yeah.
The AC going good, actually, finally. There's some piece on this AC that was frozen, and then it thawed out, and then it got colder for the AC unit to work, so I don't know. I'm not an HVAC guy, man, I don't know, right? So, it's going, so. What did you create in your business this week? Every single week, it should be, you're putting more money in your pipeline, right? Whether it's by way of, think about it, are leads money, by the way? Contacts in the schools, right? When you go meet with somebody, you meet somebody, 5 questions, that sort of deal, but maybe you didn't set the appointment. Is that money for you?
Yes.
Right? It depends on how you look at it, yes? Right? In the future, I look at it like money. I know for me, I know that I'm going to follow up and follow through on this person, right? If I meet somebody and they said that, hey, they've got, an account with AXA, MetLife, First Investors, Oppenheimer, whoever, that's where we get our clients from, yes? Now, if your proficiency level in following up and following through and people is really, really low, then maybe it's not that much, it's not money for you. Make sense? It depends on how you look at it. And so maybe that's the portion of your business, maybe that's the whole of your business, the fortune is in where? The follow up and the follow what? Through. So maybe that's a hole that you need to fix in your business, yes?
Yes.
So, what kind of money did you add to your business this week, right? Whether you wrote a sale, whether it was making contacts in the schools, if you're tracking them properly, that sort of thing, or new recruits, recruiting conversations. What did your this week from Monday to today look like for you?
I got a new agent. I'd like to introduce Mr. Christopher Angel.
Oh, thank you.
Awesome. Hey, how you doing?
Thank you, everybody.
Awesome.
It's been a while. Matt and Derek kind of been after me. Not after me, but it's been about just 6 months now, I think. But I think just by I've been in the industry for about I've been licensed for about just under 2 years now.
Okay.
And just being around and seeing, I think for me personally, it's when business is like rubbing elbows, talking to people, meeting with people. When I get kind of bogged down is the admin side, because that's my weakness.
Right.
As an agent, as a consultant, you can't just put your business in and just hope for it to go through. You have to push it through. So I think just with Derek and Matt being the way they were and just very professional, not harassing me every day, and seeing what appreciation does and doing my research. So I'm excited.
So you've been licensed around 2 years. What's your background? What have you been doing prior to that?
Everything. I grew up here. My father owned numerous small businesses in the county. So me being the oldest out of all the boys, I ran his businesses for pretty much most of my life. We've interacted with people. We've been in the neighborhood here in San Diego County for 40 plus years. After my father liquidated all of his businesses, I was a civilian contractor with the Marine Corps for 12 years.
Okay.
After I got out of that business, I wanted to do something that was gonna bring value into people's lives. I wanted to kind of like have a purpose, and I'm an advocate for life insurance. Life insurance is the only asset in the world that you never lose on, you never pay any taxes on, and you always get back more than what you put in. If you structure it properly, you can use it as a retirement plan, as a complementary retirement plan, and we have the greatest life insurance products in American history, but we have the greatest need because we have the lack of knowledge.
All right. Awesome. What piqued your interest about with appreciation? What made you decide to say, hey, this is the company I can get behind?
The numbers. You guys are the best 403B company, in the market. Not just that, you have hand in hand with National Life, which they offer the best products actually in the marketplace, and just the vibe that I got, and just pretty much they're not. It's not like an MLM where it's like, come on in, let's get your network in, put your 300 people down, let's go hit them. First, no, let's focus on you getting your business established, and then if you want to grow grow, and then we'll
Right.
give you the support that you need.
Right.
Especially for me, because I'm not a big admin kind of guy, and,
Right.
it really helps me to use my strengths to where I could leverage it the most.
Alright, awesome, perfect. Alright, so one reason I ask him that, right, is so that you can also think about people that you're maybe talking with and see exactly what's the likelihood of somebody having the same interests as Chris, right?
Yes.
Chris, right? Somebody has the same interests, right? And so just think about those things as deciding factors as to maybe it's the same reasons as to why some of you guys joined Appreciation as well. So, couple different things I want to updates. Different things I want to say. Okay, so area-wide training. You guys got the invitation for it? Yes. How many did not get the invitation? All right, area-wide training. So we're gonna be July 27th. The location of the invitation says to be determined. It's going to be at the University Club. I'm changing it today. So University Club. Now I want to get some feedback from you guys because now it's going to be on a Saturday. It's a little different. We typically don't do Saturdays.
Well, I didn't get it. What time is it?
So it's currently scheduled for 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. I wanted to, and I've got a confirmation from Don Spini to be there already, and I'm waiting to, and I'm going to enroll Terry to be there as well. Okay. So what this means is we have an opportunity a recruiting opportunity, right? Anytime that you've got the president of sales, you got the CEO of the company in the same room, at the same event, I want to put as many qualified prospects in front of them, okay? So what I'm looking at doing or debating, I want to get feedback from you guys because this is our Southern California, this is our event, okay? It's not a Brett Moore event, this is our event. So I'm debating doing a 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. like corporate overview. What do you guys think about that?
I think it's brilliant.
All right, we got to do exercise real quick because you guys' energy is. I feed off of energy,
I can't
man.
wait to go on
This is
vacation.
your clients are gonna fall asleep on you. So we're gonna all stand up. We're gonna all stand up, right?
Yes, I can.
Will you head shoulder these toes?
Let's see. We're gonna let's see. Should we do those? All right, so just really quick. It's gonna be it's 3 I'm excited. That's what we're about to do. 3 I'm excited. You don't have to jump very high. You're gonna jump an inch, okay? We gotta change the energy in here. All right, so it's I'm excited. It's 3 jumps, all right? So 1, 2, 3. I'm excited. There we go. Let's change it. Are you guys wanting to do a corporate overview 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. on Saturday, July 27th?
Yeah.
Wow. The only person who wanted to do it was Mercedes at first, right? So this gives us the opportunity, a couple different things for Saturday, right? We've obviously created as of June 1st the AF Light division for a part-time opportunity for obviously we're targeting teachers, other school district staff to be able to work with us, obtain a license, make part-time income. However, it's not just for teachers and school district staff, it's anybody that wants to make a part-time income. Ideally, that's the market that we want to focus on. So this gives them opportunity to get them trained here in the training. But this gives us the training, right? And this will be the corporate overview for new AF Light potential recruits or anybody that you've been talking with and you want to get them in front of either myself or Terry or Don Spini. So do we want to do that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So I'll be making those changes to the invitation today, right? So there's going to be a cost for lunch because you guys are going to get lunch for their corporate overview. For agents, it's more likely going to look like $15 for lunch. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So for like FVPs, it's probably going to be $25 for lunch. Is it all right?
Yes.
All right. Cool. And for AVPs, it'll probably be like $35 for lunch. Okay. Cool. So higher contract levels, that sort of thing. Should be making a lot more money. All right. So I just want to make sure we went over that, made that announcement. Saturday, July 27th. So what that means is you might want to start driving attendance for that. This University Club downtown, the Copley Symphony Towers, guys.
Beautiful.
It's a beautiful venue.
The view
It's a beautiful view. It's probably one of the best views in San Diego, in my opinion. That's why I proposed to Mercedes there. it's top notch, right? And so this is where you want to make sure you're bringing some great people there. Being that it's a Saturday, we're not gonna have as much difficulty with traffic. We're not gonna have as much difficulty with parking either. So it'll be a really, really big deal. Okay, so then I'll also, I know Brittany Mullally, I believe, is going to be there as well. Capital Loan and Associates will be there as well. So for those that are looking to obtain information in regards to helping your clients with real estate purchases or refinances, here's an opportunity. We have a resource for that. That's the mortgage real estate division of your business, essentially, right? And so it's an opportunity for you to generate some income there as well. Okay, so you'll be able to obtain information there.
Can you elaborate on that a little more?
So we got Capital Loan and Associates. It's a company that we've partnered with. They do mortgages and real estate is what they do. And so they run the division for our business. So a number of us have referred our current clients, our prospective clients, and they will handle the transactions from there on out and totally support all the strategies that you're recommending to the client. They're gonna look for angles to help you to create more income on this side, on the financial services side. Now, you will get paid if a deal funds, you will get paid what we're calling a marketing bonus, okay, or you get a marketing bonus. It's a flat fee, a flat rate of like $500, right?
That's awesome.
Yeah, but they handle the transaction from start to finish,
awesome.
right?
Yeah, you literally just give them the phone number and
Right.
that's it.
Yeah, yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah,
I've
so.
been going through the yellow pages and just sitting in my.
That was hilarious. It was the second time in 2 days. I was doing an interview yesterday, somebody mentioned the yellow pages. That was a cool interview, right? Awesome. So, Jay, you got some good stuff for us?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. Jay Bowser is going to be going over multiple ways of school district marketing, correct?
Yes, sir.
Awesome, perfect. Please give Jay a hand.
Yay.
How's everybody doing this morning?
Awesome.
All right.
There's lots
I'm
of energy.
so
Good
excited.
energy.
So excited this morning.
Excited. All right.
I'm excited. We going to Cancun.
Oh, yeah, we are going to Cancun. Guys, hey, next year you have to be on the 100K trip. Are we all making a commitment for that?
Yes, sir.
All right. The company pays. I was sitting thinking about, man, the company, like, we squeeze in our vacations. We're like, oh man, we gotta go on vacation again, right? We just got back from where? Where we were?
I don't know. I always forget. I was like, oh, we gotta get a babysitter.
It was
Yeah,
Hawaii.
yeah,
I think.
I think it was Hawaii. It was beautiful.
Yeah, we were in Hawaii. We were in Hawaii, right? We were in Hawaii,
Bermuda.
Hawaii, Costa Rica, Cabo twice. Where else? Jamaica. I mean, guys, these are all expense paid trips to these places, and the company just keeps taking us to these places, right? For doing what we're supposed to be doing anyway, which is this SRTR, Seller Recruiting, Training, and Repeating. That's all we've been doing since July of 2010 when we opened the suite next door. That's all we've been doing. Just keep doing it over and over and over again. The company says, hey, well, based on this production, here you go. Here's another trip. Here you go. Here's another trip. So we're gonna leave to Houston tomorrow, spend the night in Houston, fly out to Cancun, and we'll be back Thursday night, but we'll be right back here Friday morning to really drive attendance for this thing. But guys, think about the opportunity that we have. I mean, we don't have to go do other vacations. All right, that's enough. That's pretty cool destinations, yes?
You don't have to pay for it either.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool. When you
Yeah.
get there, everything is paid for. It actually will bring a tear to your eye. I can order 12 lambs.
You can afford it. All right, so next year, guys, start driving your work, and really the life insurance is a big part of it, guys. And so, anytime you have the life insurance opportunities to, whether it's in these trainings to gain a better understanding, whether it's just, I don't care, hound your upline, like, as I promise you, is because a lot of the qualifiers get qualified for these trips because of life insurance versus just the annuities and startups. Don't be just the order taker when the client says they want to put away a couple $100 per month, okay?
There's no such thing as a 403B license in California.
It is a life insurance
It's a life
license.
insurance license.
Very true.
All right. So I know when I first came on, this was a book that was recommended, by the company to get. So I want to tell everybody here to make sure if you haven't, if you're new and you haven't got 177 Mental Toughness Secrets of the World Class, make sure you go and get it. I'm an avid reader. I do a lot of audio books. I have to drive down from Marietta, so I do a lot of books because it helps you out, right? Like, we may not know everything, but you can kind of pick the brains of others that came before us, or that are doing great now by getting into the books. So what I wanted to read today, real quick before we get started, was professional performers don't require immediate compensation. And in the industry that we're in, that's very, very important, right? Because you're gonna start off, and it's about nurturing relationships, building your pipeline. You might not see the instant gratification. So what it says is most people are fully engaged in microwave thinking, a deep belief that compensation should immediately follow any effort. Champions are different. They believe every effort performed with good intention yields some form of compensation at some point. People become champions by perfecting their competencies until other people label them champion. In most cases, this label took years of hard work and sacrifice to achieve, with little or no apparent compensation along the way. Many of the great ones were ridiculed and criticized for investing so many hours in the development of their core competency. Not swayed by amateur opinion, they pushed forward aggressively. This delayed gratification set the stage for all future battle plans for achievement in the minds of champions. When professional performers set a big goal, they're expecting a fight. And their past experience has preconditioned their minds for battle. What amateurs expect, when amateurs expect compensation, pros are just settling in for the fight. Their willingness to delay gratification and compensation makes them more viable in the marketplace. So we have to think, which one are we going to be? Are we going to be a champion? Or are we going to be an amateur? So you always want to make sure that you're constantly filling up your pipeline and knowing that it's greater later, right? So one thing that Bob Proctor says is that you get out what you put in. Okay, so let's get into marketing at schools, because you're gonna have to put in some work, put in some energy to get the results that you want. It's gonna start with marketing and setting appointments. So what are different ways of marketing at schools?
Lunch and learn?
Like this a lunch. All right, that's good. What else we got?
Door knocking,
Door knocking.
asking for referrals.
Referrals.
World Series of Giving.
World Series of Giving. I like that. Anything we might be missing?
Sponsoring meetings, follow-ups.
Follow-ups, okay.
Staff
We'll-
meetings.
Staff
Teacher
meetings, so we'll
appreciation?
put that here as well.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put that here, so we'll put, that's gonna be delivering food, so we'll put staff meeting. What else you guys say?
Coffee and donuts in the morning, like in the
So,
lounge.
above here. Put here, like this, I want that. Coffee, and you said donuts.
So you wanna change it up, cause some of the teachers are trying to get healthy, so maybe take some fruit, go mess up their diet plan.
Yeah, healthiness, and I've seen that,
No,
we
no,
bring the
Yeah,
donuts,
but
yeah.
you run through with the donuts, and then the next time,
Back
the
to
people
you.
that say, oh, no, I don't want the donuts, you know what, I didn't forget about you, I brought you some melon.
That's true.
I usually bring like a vegan alternative as well, which is,
smart, very
you
smart.
know, like a kale salad or
Yeah.
something like that, you know,
Yeah.
just.
We
Right
are
now,
in a
the-
health conscious society.
Right now, Jaden Smith is doing a food truck.
Vegans in
Vegan.
LA,
Mm.
Yeah,
yeah.
but homeless, there's some homeless, they're upset because they're not vegan.
Oh. We was talking about that this morning, like, ow. All right, so let's start off with lunch with a luncheon, right, or a staff meeting. What's the very first step in getting that going? Some of the newer agents.
You gotta make the appointment.
Huh?
You got a chair?
Oh, sure. Here you go. More. So you said,
Make the appointment, schedule the appointment.
okay, so how do you do that?
Reach out to whoever's the principal, whoever's in charge, you know, and let them know that you're from like the state funded or the E program, you just wanna do a lunch and learn, you know, complimentary just for you and your staff on the best day available for you guys.
Yeah, that's great for you just coming and stepping out there. That's great. So someone that's new but has actually set a luncheon recently, what would you say? How did you do it? Who's new that just set a luncheon? It should be somebody. Anybody went to the luncheon? Gary?
Yes, we did.
So how did that go? How'd you set it up?
We went and talked to the gatekeeper, and then we went and made flyers and went back and brought them in, and then
Perfect. That's exactly
So
what
is that
it
the
is.
administrative secretary or something like that?
the front office staff.
So I'm gonna pass these around because she's absolutely right. So you wanna make sure that you get a flyer made, you customize it for yourself. So you're gonna put your information on there, and you wanna go to the gatekeeper, and when talking to the gatekeeper, you just wanna say, hey, who do I talk to about setting up a appreciation lunch for the staff here? We go over member benefits, and just just bring so much how many staff you have, you wanna get all the information, you wanna see if they're the one that can set it up, if not, you wanna get the information on the individual that can give you permission to set it up, figure out how many staff members will be there so you know how much food to bring, you wanna see where you're gonna be set up at, see if you can get positioned in a good area. Now, when it comes to bringing the food forward, what is it, what are the type of food that we bring for luncheons and staff meetings?
Sandwiches.
Exactly. So here's keep it nice and simple. The Subway sandwiches is really good. I believe on Fairmont they have, what is it, is it the more special?
Yeah.
So you can call into the Subway up
Up
there.
there at the 500,000 mark of spending at Subway.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a more special. They'll set out the platter for you, so you can go there. It's nice and diverse, all kind of different types on the platter. So you have that. Of course, if you kind of go outside and want to do other things, you can. But remember, we're not a catering company. We're there pretty much to set what.
I don't think we should be doing that, period.
Well, no, you can, but all you're gonna do is waste yourself time and money.
Exactly.
So just stick to what already works.
Exactly.
Brett's been using Subway for the longest time, just stick to the
Keep it
Subway, it's
simple.
easy.
Yeah.
Get 1 or 2 trays, whatever you see fit, but like you said, we're not a catering company, so don't focus on doing too much.
We don't have a license for that.
One time, I was at school, like, I'm gonna do some chicken adobo and bring all this sort of stuff, and it was just way too overwhelming for me. I had to worry about tongs, all this extra stuff. Became a catering company that wasn't setting an appointment, right? If you just come with some sandwiches, it's about setting appointments, right? So that's what it's all
Are
about.
people still calling you for chicken adobo?
No, they're not.
Wait, did you tell him you're gonna bring him chicken and adobo?
No, it was at Vail, when, one of my schools, we do a program, and so I said, I'm gonna, go all out, but, when it comes to setting appointments, you don't have to, do a whole lot of stuff. You can come with the sandwiches and you'll be good to go. Alright, so, that's what it is with luncheons now, so, let's focus on this a little bit before we jump into the other things, this is very important. So we talked about getting the flyer done, we talked about the gatekeeper, so now you got the luncheon set. What's the next step? You didn't went to the gatekeeper, you didn't set the luncheon, what would you do next? How are we gonna get the word out? What do you do?
With the flyers and the
Put the
mailboxes.
folders in the boxes for the teachers.
So flyers and mailbox.
Or not with the flyers.
Uh-huh. And so door knock, so that's key. So let's stop there a little bit because that's the part I love. So now you got the luncheon set. This is your school now. I don't care who else is doing luncheons. If they had one 2 weeks ago, they have another one coming up a week. They said I can set a luncheon at this school. So I'm gonna take this flyer, at least a couple of days before, a day before, however you decide to do it. And I'm doing door knocking. So I'm knocking on the door, hey, how you doing? Just wanted to make sure you didn't miss out the opportunity. We're gonna be having a luncheon here, give them a flyer. And that's at that moment, that's your perfect time to set an appointment. So sometimes when you door knock, you kind of go with the gift. The gift is this flyer, inviting them to get some free food. Obligation-free sandwiches, obligation-free food. That's your in. So now that you have an in, you should set an appointment, right? It should be nice and easy. You're saying, I'm gonna be on campus doing an appreciation lunch for the staff. You now are the professional that has got approved to be on campus and provide them lunch. So now the trust is there, right? If you wanna help out your clients, what is it you have to show? You have to show that you care, you have to help them, and you have to gain their trust. So this here is gaining their trust because you're going there and saying, I'm approved to do a luncheon here. So make sure if you ever have a luncheon, you definitely go door knocking and set several appointments. So after door knocking and you set some appointments, what else do you do to market that event? Anybody know some of the newer agents? No?
Call them volunteers.
There you go, exactly. So let's see here. Gary, what would you do now at that point?
Calling volunteers?
You are the volunteer.
No, you are the volunteer.
I'm the volunteer.
Yeah. So what do you do next? So we set the luncheon, we have the date, we put flyers in the mailbox, now we went door knocking, we set several appointments. Now what should we do next?
We're gonna need help with those appointments.
Yeah, you can reach out. So what I was gonna say was, you want to email. I mean, this is how teachers operate, right? So you telling the gatekeeper, hey, can you email this flyer to all the staff? Very, very effective. Very, very effective. Have them do the work for you. Now they're your marketer, they're your promoter, But to get the gatekeeper to do that, what have you given the gatekeeper to put a smile on their face?
Starbucks.
Yeah, Starbucks gift card. So you gotta make sure that you gave the gatekeeper gift card. You may come by with some treats, make her feel good, make him feel good, put a smile on their face, whatever it may be. And now you have an individual that you say, you know what, can you just go ahead and email these to the staff, wanna make sure nobody misses opportunity, right? And now you got somebody that's doing that as well. So after you do that, now you come to the luncheon, you were exactly right, Jen, you don't wanna come by yourself, you wanna bring somebody with you. Why do you wanna bring somebody with you, Jen?
One person against, what, 12 you're gonna have there, you're not gonna be able to help everybody,
30?
they're not gonna have time to, you're not gonna have time for everybody.
Exactly, very true, so you kinda wanna have somebody that, you know, if one person comes in and, you know, they're busy, another person may come in, you have somebody that may talk to them, you wanna make sure somebody's kinda signing in with their information, just work as a team, do not do a luncheon by yourself. I really advise that you partner up with somebody, if you're newer, partner with somebody with some more experience that have done luncheons, and, it'd be way more successful if you don't go by yourself.
Also, not everyone's gonna be attracted to you or feel comfortable talking to you. They may feel
Right.
comfortable talking to your brand new trainee who's, they just relate to more for whatever reason.
Very true.
So it's just, yeah, don't do it alone.
Not do it alone. Okay, so now you did the luncheon, you know, you got about 10 appointments, what's the next step from there that you do, right? You know, and matter of fact, to back it up, when you're setting, this is very important, cause I know a lot of us drop the ball on this in the beginning, when you're setting an appointment, what is it that you wanna do while they're coming and signing in, and they're setting that appointment? What's some kind of information you wanna make sure that you're gathering? Liza.
What did you say, the appointment?
Yeah.
Oh, the names, emails, telephone number, room number.
Right. The key thing that's missing is, and this is one thing that DC pounded us and it works a lot, is set the appointment, right? So we set an appointment and we're getting all their information, but you wanna make sure you say, okay, this beginning of the week or end of the week work good for you. Before school, after school work for you. Prep period, lunchtime, let's get that down, let's set this now, right?
And then, and also, you know, a lot of people are trying to gather emails and all this information. All you need to do is get their name, phone number, and maybe the room number. When they become your client, you're gonna get the email and all that other information. When you're in the luncheon, this is a quick transaction. You're just gonna set the appointment real quick and let them enjoy their sandwich or their cookie. We're not sitting there trying to get them to fill out a credit report in the luncheon.
Right.
You're making it way too serious if you ask them for all that information and make it casual.
Yeah, right.
Okay, and what was your phone number, just in case, I'll send you a text, and I'm sorry, we're gonna meet in your room, what's the room number? Don't sit there and what's your room number and what's your email, we already can find their email on the website, right, you know?
Yeah.
Also, I don't hear anybody saying that they use the 5 questions, so it's like,
That's all you should be
finding
using.
out what kind of information, what company do they currently have. So that's super important because you can come to your first appointment with that person and know whether they have access or valid or whatever company whose paperwork you should have on hand, but you're better prepared. So it's like, I don't hear anybody asking those questions. Everybody looks dead, and maybe that's why your business is dead.
What are
You
the
gotta
five
ask those
questions?
questions and prepare.
So he asked, what are the 5 questions? Let's see here. Who knows? Do a little bit more. Jen, what are the 5 questions?
How long have you been with the district? Has it always been this district? Have you taken advantage of your 402B? Do you know who it's with?
You know how's your performance? All right, great. So,
Good job.
Anybody new, anybody else is new, Jen, you're one of our newer agents, I'm glad you know the 5 questions, guys. So the 5 questions obviously are, it's just a great way to get in relationship, it's a non-invasive way to get in relationship and obtain enough information from somebody that you could be able to schedule an appointment with them, right? And so if I'm new, that should be my I need to memorize that, those 5 questions. That's in the agent manual, you'll get that, so, but you wanna make sure as you're newer, you're continuously reading the agent manual 3 times a week, guys. But it's a simple, transferable way, cause it's interchangeable, I can do this while I can use the 5 questions when I'm at a luncheon, I can also use the 5 questions when, if I'm out walking halls or door knocking,
Yeah,
right?
Big time. You could be at Starbucks or into a teacher and it works perfectly wherever
I
you're
just
at.
did the 5 questions and the 1, 2, 3 on my CrossFit coach that at the gym right now, on the board.
Yeah. So, very valuable, make sure you learn the 5 questions right away and then learn the script, cause the 5 questions is what's gonna help you, gather some information very quickly, in the field, and then now when you're ready to sit down and do an appointment, you have to know, the script. And the script does all the work for you. It's no extra thing, and sometimes when we first start, we're overcomplicating it, thinking that, okay, I have to know everything, and I have to know this. We're professionals, I mean, once you went and got your license, once you came here, went through the training, once you learn that script, and if you just stick to it, you're good to go. So let's move on to the next one, so door knocking, right? So that's another great way of marketing on the campus. So when it comes to door knocking, right? So in the area I'm in Inland Empire, right? So it's a little bit harder to set the luncheons. Up there we have Schools First and NBS, and you know, it's kind of a closed campus thing. So a lot of times people are like, it's hard in Inland Empire, it's hard in this area, and we can't get access, and that's why the numbers aren't good and whatnot. And all I see is obstacle is an opportunity, right? So it's how you gonna turn lemons into lemonade. So I was like, well, you know what? I've been, you know, Appreciation Financial has been so gracious to teach me how to door knock. So what door knocking means to me is opening up doors. You know, if you want somebody to open a door, you gotta knock first, right? So you knock and the door is open. So I go on campus, try to set a luncheon. They may say, you know what, we're not doing lunches here. That is perfectly fine. All I do is I step off campus, wait till the bell rings, walk on campus, kids come off, I go on, and then I get to work. I get to work door knocking, right? So something that DC has shared with the team, we'll pass this around. Some make it prettier than others. I'm just kind of quick out in the field because it's not so much about the gift. I just need to break the ice, right? So let's pass this around. So, you know, I put those together, go door knocking, knock, knock. Hey, how you doing? I come bearing gifts. And then, of course, I say, oh, what is this for? Just want to show some appreciation for all that you do for the district. Okay, that's great. Yes. And then you get right into the 5 questions, right into what Jim was saying. You know, you get right into that. Then the 5 questions, you get to figure out everything about them. You're trying to be quick because in respect of the time, like DC said, they're most likely in a rush. And you're a stranger just popped in their classroom. So after you go through the 5 questions, as soon as they say that they haven't had a pension review before, or that they don't have a 403B, or even if they say they have a 403B, but haven't had a pension review, or they had a pension review 2 years ago, well, you know what, you need to have one each year. Oh, I just had one this year. You know what, 2 minds is better than 1. How about we do it again, right? So it's all about setting appointments. So as soon as I you know, get past all the barriers and whatnot, now it's what works better for you, beginning of the week or end of the week? Oh, end of the week. Okay, you know what, I'm free on Thursday. Do you like before school, or do you like your prep period or lunchtime? I try not to say after school, so I want to say that time for door knocking and for my appointments. For, you know, in case I, you know, have some other appointments that it has to be after school. So first I'm trying to set it up before school gets out. Set the appointment, I'm out. I'm on to the next one. Sometimes I carry a clipboard, come in, look very professional, write everything down. Sometimes I'm just quick draw McGraw with my phone, put it in real quick, and then I'm out. I try to set, this is what TK taught us on SRTR, is to set about 2 to 4 appointments a day. In the beginning, I was trying to set a whole lot. But I can set 10 appointments by door knocking, this is fantastic. But you get overwhelmed very, very quickly if you set too many appointments. So what TK said is if you set 2 to 4 appointments every day, you'll be good to go. So I've been doing that for the last year now, and I've never have a lack of appointments. So now that I'm in a new area, I've already gotten to the point to where there's not a campus in the area I'm in, whether from elementary to high school, that I don't have a client on. So that means I can go to any campus, and I just mentioned, I pull up my calendar, type in whatever campus it is, names that come up with clients. I do that with my CRM as well, and I'm using names. I say, hey, well, do you know, Miss Diane, you know, I service her as well, because whenever you use a name like that and you name drop, they feel more comfortable that one of their colleagues has used you as well. So door knocking is very, very good. So some people go with the napkins and tissue. My wife said they're not napkins, they're tissues. So the tissues and the hand sanitizer. And then some do the coffee. So I think I heard Brad mention coffee earlier. So how do you do it when you go out in the field and you're door knocking with coffee?
You know, in the morning, either do like a Starbucks carrier, but I was even saying, opposed to the lunch, setting up in the lounge in the morning before school. Because a lot of times, especially on certain campuses, they'll avoid the lunch.
So I'll put here lounge.
But pretty much all the teachers come through the staff lounge in the morning to get stuff out of their box, stuff like that. You have a lot more foot traffic.
Yeah, that's genius. Did everybody take that in and gather that?
Even if you have like a good relationship with the school, you can just be in the staff lounge.
Yeah, and
They'll
even
let
with
you work out of there.
even with that too, a lot of times they'll let you just sit for an extra 45 minutes, an hour. You get different aides that kind of come through at different times as well.
I got a running joke, and I always tell DC, I said, man, I'm in at this school so much, they about to put my name placard on the door and say, Jay Bowser, this is my office here. So you're absolutely right. You want to make that lounge your office.
And you know what? There are several times I've just shown up to a campus, and you know what? I was at another campus and nobody showed up for this event, so I got some extra donuts and coffee. Is it okay if I sit in here as I'm handing them a donut? They're like, yeah. I'm like, hey, let me fill up your cup, because you know what? I got this guy with me. He's gonna drink all this coffee, and I ain't got time for him to be stopping in the bathroom. You know?
Exactly. And so, so we have here donuts. I believe Alicia is the one that kind of brought the donut hose to us. So can you talk on how does that work for you when you go with the donut hose?
I don't do it often, but I've
Okay.
done it a few times,
Uh-huh.
and it's just the donut holes is just a cheaper option than buying actual donuts.
Okay.
And then people are okay with eating one or two of
Yeah,
those
people aren't gonna grab a,
versus a whole donut.
like, no, like, especially coming into summer,
Yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah.
But they'll grab like one or two donut holes.
Mhm.
Then you gotta.
You
Take the bait.
You got a donate. We say disappointment, but yeah, for sure. Okay. Now sometimes I was thinking about this. So somebody, you go, you pour somebody coffee, you give them a donut, you give them a healthy option. Now, have you guys ever got, well, you know what? I'm fine. I don't want to set the appointment. You did everything you can. This person just doesn't want to set it at this time, right? I know it's a no forever. It's just a no at that moment. Now, and they say, you know what? Let me give it back to you. What do you say at that moment? When they want to say, you know what? I'll give it back because I'm not setting an appointment.
No, it's for
Okay.
last question.
Yes.
You already know their information.
Okay.
No, because I've seen some people that get stuck on that, right? They give them a $5 gift card, and now the appointment isn't set, and now it's that awkward situation because they're like, so do I still keep the gift card? Like, what's going on? So I see the awkwardness. No, this is a gift.
Yeah,
My
no,
company
you're absolutely
Yeah.
right. I was just.
Oh yeah.
No, you're like, you know, no, this is a gift. You know, we appreciate what you're doing with the students, but you take notes. Okay, this is where this teacher is, and now the game just starts. That teacher probably has a good amount of money that she saved already, or he saved. They're not gonna give it to you the first time you come knock on their door for a $5 gift card. They probably had a $5 gift card 10 times before. However, the difference is gonna be when you show up with a pop-by kit with information based on the conversation that you have with them, and you pop by and you say, you know what? Just wanna let you know, I hadn't forgotten about you. I brought some information in regards to teachers' accounts that are being charged fees and how our company never lost any money or something of that nature. Something regarding to the conversation you have with that teacher. So if they say no, let them keep the gift card, but this is just the beginning of you starting to help that client.
If they say no, you just go into, well, my company requires me to give out 5 gift cards, so on this campus, you want me to?
Perfect. And that's a perfect segue into referrals, right? That's a perfect segue into referrals. So we should always be getting referrals. That's the name of the game. But for those of you that already been in sales before, you know it's always about referrals, right? So what are some ways of getting referrals? So we know you just said about and we're gonna get deeper into that, about the World Series of Giving. What are some other ways of gaining
Or the
referrals?
situation of them trying to give it back, they feel kind of guilty. So that's a way of still getting value out of them.
Yeah.
And then they actually feel, it's like, alright, well then, who on campus, you know, that wasn't responsible like you,
Yeah.
something like that, or that, yeah, something along those lines.
Right.
Where
And if
they
you're
haven't
looking-
taken the steps that you have or feel comfortable like you do with what you have.
So these work interchangeably because you're saying you can get the referral from door knocking. So although they may not even set the appointment with them, you can still get a referral from door knocking. So they work interchangeably. What are you saying?
Right now, and like he was saying, you know, Glenn, he does the World Series of Giving in luncheons. So if you get one person to come by, he'll end up getting, you know, 5 leads right there because he's doing the game in the luncheons. So within that first week, he'll have 25 people to go talk to, and it'll be that much easier to get around that whole campus.
Appointment setting machine. The name of the game is a set appointment set appointment. Delaney, what's another way to gain referrals?
I mean, really at any time, after you set the appointment, if you're doing, an application, anytime that person is left with a good feeling about you, I think it's a good time to ask, who else can I help, or who else do you know that needs to review their pension, or something like that.
That's very, 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 very true. So, a lot of times at the beginning, I was forgetting, I was rushing, and my nerves was going, and nervous, and finally got them to sign. I got them to sign. I got a client, and you walk out, you get in the car, you're like, oh, I forgot to ask for referrals. So you want to make sure you want to slow things down, take your time, breathe, and remember, you have to get referrals at the end. You just help this person. It's something that the upline says all the time is that you don't want to steal. I don't want to butcher it, but you don't want to steal somebody else's opportunity. Somebody else's opportunity at being able to have a, you say a little bit better than I, what's
Be
the,
a
what is it?
giver.
Yeah, you wanna be a giver, you don't wanna steal somebody else's.
Opportunity to, you know, give to somebody else, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
But teachers, you're gonna give them a gift, and then now you're giving them a chance to give somebody else a gift, but if you don't ask them
Yeah.
and give them the opportunity, then, you know, you've been a taker.
So after
And then
oh, sorry.
even when you do ask for a referral, sometimes people are gonna say, oh, I don't know anybody. You're like, oh, you know what? Grab the roster. There has to be 5 people on campus that you like, you know? Or who on campus just had a baby? Who's the oldest teacher on campus? Who's ready to retire? Who's the newest teacher? You know? Who, you know what I mean? Who just bought a house? I mean, there are several different things you can use to jog their memory after you ask who are the 5 people that you wanna show some love to, or who are your 5 favorite people on campus. I mean, we've gotten 12 names off of asking before.
That's amazing. And you know, our fearless leader, Terry Kennedy, at the last, training that we had, SoCal training, he had said something that was definitely profound. It was that you don't wanna take away that person's, joy or their time to bask and knowing that they help somebody else out. So when you get a referral and you go to see that person and it works out, you sign them up, make sure you go back to the person, the teacher, or staff member that gave you that referral and let them know, hey, man, with such and such, we signed them up because they wanna feel good. Don't take that from them. So, you know, go help the person and come back and also let them know that you wouldn't help them. Give them that joy of knowing they help somebody else secure their financial future. Any other ways for referrals before we move on to the World Series of Giving?
One of the ones was like Don Sweeney's like 3 commitments. So it's like, alright, before I take you on as a client, you need to agree to 3 things. We're gonna meet at least once a year. If I call you, you're gonna pick up. And then the last one is you're gonna introduce me to anyone that he says in a better way, but anyone whose money's just as messed up as yours was.
I like that, cause what they say on that part is that, once again, was what Terry King said at the SoCal training, so make sure you come July 27th to it because there's a lot of great jewels, and I was taking notes and studying them after, was that we sometimes think that we set an appointment and we're going there and that the client is interviewing us, right? Now after I left that training, I realized I'm interviewing the client.
Right.
Do I want you to be my client? Are you worthy enough to be my client? It's exactly what Brad said that he learned from Don Sweeney, is that you're gonna wanna get those commitments, because I don't wanna, like, Brad says, I don't wanna have a client that ends up in the witness protection and I'm searching for him and wasting all that time, right? So you wanna make sure that you're gonna pick up on our call. You know, you wanna make sure that they're gonna respond to emails, that they're gonna get forms signed and back to you when you need them or willing to meet you. So we're interviewing that client, okay? We can fire clients as well, right? So we've gotta remember, we're in control, we're the one helping people, we're the one, you know, we're in the power seat, right?
You're the
Not them,
professional.
yeah, we're not the order taker, we're the professional. All right, so, the World Series of Giving. So, a card here, and so everybody here is familiar with and got their cards, that's, you know, signed up and ready to go, everybody's been working for everybody pretty good, right? Okay, so when is the best time, or what times, are we using, this card to get referrals and to play the game?
Policy deliveries.
Policy delivery. All right, what else? When else are we using these?
First appointment, second appointment.
All right, appointments. So, are you guys, I think you said Glenn is using them, you said even at lunch-ins, right?
You can use this anytime.
Anytime, right?
You should be using it anytime and all the time. We should have as many games going as
We're
possible.
gonna put all the time, right? Boom, we need to use it all the time. So this is very, very important. I don't know what we're doing for Role Play Academy, but even if we can kinda get some role play going, with this and whatnot, because this is so important, is getting referrals. Because once you get onto a campus, like we're fortunate to have Pair, where it kinda opens up the door and it helps us get onto a campus. But once you're, you know, on that campus, you know, you don't wanna have to keep, always, you know, you're always gonna door knock, right? But isn't it so much better to door knock if it's kinda more of a warm lead door knock? If you're saying, hey, you know, I'm coming here door knocking, but, you know, Miss Suzanne in room 709, you know, she referred you, I wanna give this card to you and show appreciation for all that you do for the district, and then kinda lead into that. Isn't that so much better than just knocking on the door, you don't know this person with no referral? So this card can really get you around the whole campus and be able to set a whole lot of appointments. All right, so now Pop by Kid. Now no one had mentioned it at first, but then DC was talking, he had said Popeye Kids, and I think that's a great way for marketing, right? It's not typically the first time you meet the client, unless, you know, say if you're going on a pair, you may have that folder that has the same type of information on it. But with the Popeye Kit, how can that be used for marketing on campus? Laura?
Well, it's a reason to be on campus, first of all.
Why is that?
Like a lot of times when I go to the schools, I have folders prepared for clients, so they're like, oh, why are you here? Well, I have to drop this off for so-and-so.
Yeah.
And it gives me like, so I'm able to door knock. And it, you know, it gives them some information, it starts a conversation.
So
It shows
when
that
you,
you're following up with them.
yeah, so when you say that you're here on campus and you have a Popeye Kit for a client, is that when, you had door knocked and now you're coming back on the first appointment, or at what
Right.
times? Okay, perfect. So you're coming with those kids first appointment as well, right? Now, we talked earlier about rejection, right? And sometimes opportunity is, you know, just obstacle is just opportunity in disguise. So also, if someone told you no, right? But since we did the 5 questions, as we all should be doing, we found out that they have an AXA account, right? Ouch, right? So we found that they have AXA. So this gives us a great reason to go back and pop by with the Popeye Kit. Now, what will we put in that Popeye Kit to
Third-party materials.
There you go, right? So in that Popeye Kit, we can come out with some third-party materials. And why would we do that, Shamila?
We don't wanna make it seem like it's coming from our mouth and we're bashing their company.
Right,
We wanna
right.
show them that it's a third party.
Yeah.
Has this information.
So right there behind you, there's some third-party information, and so you might want to come and say, hey, look, you have a Popeye Kit. I just wanted to let you know the type of account that you're in. I just want to give you some information so that you know about the fees, and then that you know that you're susceptible to market loss. It's right there in our script, and you're just kind of, you know, going back and repeating the same thing, and they'll be grateful that you help them to understand that there are guaranteed accounts out there. You're just doing your job and letting them know there are accounts where instead of paying fees, you don't have to pay fees. Instead of being susceptible to market loss, you could be in something where you're guaranteed not to lose any money, right? So you want to have that type of information in the Popeye Kit. That's what I make sure I put in there so they can fully understand. Sometimes things are moving fast when you're door knocking, they're just in a rush. Who's this person that popped in? You're not the first person to pop in, you're not going to be the last, right? So when you come by, you're going to build value. You're going to build a lot of value by coming by now with this professional Popeye Kit with all this information to be able to show them why they need to jump ship and come on with you.
Jay, can you elaborate on where exactly you access these third-party materials? Is everybody familiar with where you access the third-party materials that he's speaking of?
Back office at the National Library?
We actually, I'll show you, it's on our drive as well as on the back office. There's the third-party materials, but it's also on the Google Drive. So you all should be going through there, looking and reading all this different material to see what you should be taking to these clients. Like I use the tax-free retirement from Fox. I send that out a lot about IULs, so that if a client already has an account and they say, let's say I sit with somebody, we actually sat with somebody yesterday, Gary did the 1, 2, 3, and at the end, he said, would you want the red line or the blue line? She said, I would like the red. And then he said, okay, so the money that you're willing to, that you're putting away, how much you willing to lose? She was like 30%, right? And so she does have an AXA account that she's maybe willing to, you know, transfer over, but now we're focusing on post-tax strategy for her because she's comfortable with losing money. So the National Life Group product is not something that she's interested in, but she's interested in a Roth IRA. So now immediately I'm like, okay, you're looking at after-tax contributions. So now we scheduled another appointment with her so that now we can go back and give her a better understanding of how different things work. She mentioned, no, I don't want life insurance. So that's totally fine. But if we can show her a vehicle that's gonna get her to her retirement goals faster and it happens to have a bonus of life insurance, maybe that would make sense to her.
Perfect. And now, so
I
definitely
just pulled up the back office really quick, business tracker guide, or the back office and our Google Drive for all new agents. When you first come on board, these 3 folders should have been shared with you. If they haven't, see me afterwards, or, you know, like silent auction me, like wave me down or something like that. Personal development, recruiting and building, and sales tools. These 3 folders should have been shared with you, by me or your trainer, that sort of thing. So then you gotta have a Gmail account, right? So, Hector, since you're coming on board part-time, we haven't set up the appreciation email accounts for part-time.
Okay.
However, one of the things that Jay and I was talking about was about, setting up a Gmail account for some of our AF Light agents. So, it's gonna be a new appreciation account, guys, and the idea is that if it's Google powered email, I can share Google documents with people. That makes sense? So I'm thinking it's even just like first name dot appreciationfinancial@gmail.com. That makes sense? So that's another solution around that. So if you're getting started, somebody's getting started with us on a part-time basis, and let's say they're really gonna be active, not just a referral source, and you wanna share some different things with them and help them get going, and maybe help them set up a new Gmail account. Okay, so I can share.
I'll just make a comment about AF Light. I know it's a new program and we're pretty much navigating it together, and then I'm starting to say, well, shoot, maybe I'll just go full-time. And that might be the place you want people to be. They need to make
Right.
a decision that,
Right.
you know. Because another thing I found out is that, okay, so do I get business cards? She said, no, AF Light people don't get business cards. I said, hold on a second, so what am I gonna do to present myself? to the
Right.
client?
Well, we'll double check that for you, okay? So.
But you know, I have business cards, but I don't give business cards out to clients whatsoever because
Right.
it says appreciation, and the different districts, we're using different carriers, and Appreciation Financial, that's our broker, that's not our carrier, so
That puts us in a
you
corner
actually,
here.
yeah, and you can actually I use flyers that have National Life Group, similar to the Lynching flyer,
Okay.
as my calling card.
So that's not a big deal then?
No, it's not, you
As
can
far as
go
far
on,
as
you can still order them since he's still appointed with National Life, you can order those cards, right?
Yeah.
Those are the cards I
Order
use,
cards from
because like
National
he said,
Life.
that's on approved, provided I use the National Life.
So I just wanna highlight, guys, really quick, where we're talking about these third-party materials, sales tools, right? So under the sales tools folder, it says, it's got a whole folder here of third-party materials, right? Whole folder, right there. So I oftentimes I talk about, hey, there's enough resources, but the question is, are you being resourceful enough? So if you're having some questions about variable annuities, or you're encountering some clients that have variable annuities, have term life insurance, have different fees on these different accounts that they've been experiencing, here's the solution right here. This is what you should be putting in these Popeye kits. Don't just show up with just your pearly whites and just expect for them to just roll all their money to you. Give them some information. Does it mean that they're gonna dissect all the information and read every piece of information that you're giving them?
No.
No, not at all. However, you're being the difference. That's how you're gonna earn their business. Somebody else came by and said, hey, you should do this. And they were like, they maybe believe that person. Now here it is, you're coming by and you're saying you should do that. And they're like, well, shoot, should I do this or that? I don't know. I'm already doing this. I feel comfortable doing this. I have a fear of change of doing that. But you gotta be the difference and act as if an attorney, like an attorney, proves their case beyond a reasonable doubt, yes?
Yeah.
How much
Yes.
evidence do they show up with? Exactly, right? You see an attorney roll in, they got their whole thing, big old file, right, for a parking ticket. It's like, what in the world? How much evidence do we have on this parking ticket, right? You gotta prove your case beyond reasonable doubt. So you have some information. I'm not saying you need this much information, you need to be reading it line by line with your client. Have the information there, but here it is, and it's available to you. Now, if you don't like these resources in here, you say, man, none of this resonates with me. I'm okay with that. I don't take it personally. I didn't write any of those articles, right? I just found them online, and I put them in this folder. Guess what you can do as well?
Find them
Do the
online.
same.
Find them online, right? Yeah, I'm okay with that. I mean, there's some people say, well, this article is from 2015. So, man, well, the concept still remains the same, right? Variable annuities are still charging fees. That makes sense? And so, or if you want to find an updated one, find an updated one. Maybe contact that author or whatever. I don't care, but here's what I would do if I was new, is I would Google and YouTube things, variable annuities, fixed index annuities, index universal life, term life insurance, IUL. I would Google and YouTube these things, but I would also put scam at the end of that word, all those different things, right? Because you want to find out, a good salesperson or sales professional, industry professional should be able to like sell against as well as they can sell with their concepts and strategies. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
One of the reasons I love the opportunity that we're able to sell both term and permanent life insurance, because I can bash the crap out of both, right? I know how to sell against both. That makes sense? there's different strokes for different folks. If there's a wrong way or the wrong person to get an IUL. That makes sense? If I'm I get $100, I'm gonna put $50 a month in IUL. Is that the right strategy for me? No. As an adult? No, it's not. So I could bash that all day long.
Unless you're 18.
Alright, so you know, but if I'm 60 years old, is that the time to purchase a permanent life insurance policy? Or is that the time to buy a term life insurance policy?
Nope, no.
Not at all, right? I mean, buy a 10-year term. Doesn't make any sense, right? So just saying, you got to be able to have that arsenal there. So just know it's at your fingertips. These folders have been shared with you. Okay, make sure you're using them. All right, Jay. What else?
Yeah, so we pretty much wrap that up there. Any questions before we close out on marketing? I know some of you are new, and that's kind of like a lot of times what this is geared for. You're about to get out there, you're about to set some lunch in, you're going to do some door knocking. Are there any questions, especially from the new age, just before we close it out? Good to go? All right.
Okay. Hey guys, so we're gonna end with this. One of the things that we've been doing corporate overviews. In my opinion, they've been going well. It's something that I spent a long time of my career doing. I was with another company that we did it on Tuesday evenings, we did it on Wednesday evenings, and I did 2 on Saturdays. Right? I had 2 offices running. I had an office in Temecula, an office in Mission Valley Gold. So I know how to run some corporate overviews, no problem. I don't like the traditional PowerPoint setup and somebody's just talking at people. I think it's the most effective way to disengage people, really, right? So there's some components to a corporate overview, okay? And we talked about the structure. I put it in the calendar invite. We'll pull up the. So we've got 2. What we're going to do in the month of August, we're going to have 2 corporate overviews, okay? So we've got one on Tuesday, August 6th, and the structure. Make this a little bigger for everybody. And what's going to happen is just like we have for our trainings, guys, when people assume and volunteer for different roles for teaching classes, that sort of thing. What we need your help in doing, and the reason why we want these corporate overviews structured properly, right? So we want to get you here. If you're bringing a guest, arrive at 6:15. Okay, if you're bringing a guest, arrive at 6:15. 6:15, 6:25 will be. When you get here, we need a greeter, right? So you see the underline right there. So the roles. There's gonna be a presenter, myself or whoever else is gonna be next to step up, and somebody that's on tech, right? So tech is handling the music and the PowerPoint presentation. Make sure that stuff's set up. They know exactly how to work it. Sometimes we have a clicker. Obviously right now we're a little wireless. I structured it a little different, so we can be wireless. We don't have to be standing over there in the corner, right? But we need somebody to volunteer for these things, for both of these dates, August 6th, August 20th. So presenter, somebody for tech. We need a greeter. The greeter prepares the packets and the sign-in sheet, right? So sign-in sheet, they're sitting at the front desk. They're greeting people as they're coming in. They're asking, hey, great, and you're going to smile and be welcoming. Don't just be like, what do you want, right? And so you want to make sure you're smiling, you're greeting, everybody's got to be welcoming, okay? And also when they're coming up here and they're actually sitting, because we'll have papers here along in front of the chairs, and they're sitting down, as we got to get better at our people skills and getting a relationship with people, right? I saw John Evans. Did he leave?
He went downstairs, yeah.
All right. So, especially Tuesday night, and it's always going to go as planned, or it's going to work out well, okay? But we want it to be better, especially as I was the one getting everything set up and all that stuff. I mean, I had 3 guests in here by myself, handling a 3-person conversation or 4-person conversation by myself, right? And then I asked, did John Evans join the room? And then I asked the person, how long was your guest? How long you been at HR, right? And John Evans just sitting there listening. He's in the audience. He's listening. As an agent, here with appreciation, what we want to create when we're doing corporate overviews. Who wants to grow their business, by the way? Now, I'm only going over these specifics so to help you grow your business. Would it be okay if you had 10 people on a part-time basis referring you business? Maybe they're writing up 1 sale per month. Maybe they wrote the sale on their own and they're at a 50% contract. You're at what contract level? So 100. So it'll be okay if 10 sales came into your base shop that you overrode by 50%. That you did nothing for them other than we created this structure. That's what I'm attempting to help you guys create. That make sense? Or somebody called you, Maria, and said, hey, I have somebody that wants one of those IUL things you guys were talking about. Is that okay? Would you be okay with the split on that sale? Right? This is the structure, but that's why this is significant. Okay, so presenter, tech, greeter, so that somebody sitting at the front desk, they prepare the kids here, and they have the sign-in sheet, and they sit at the desk the whole time. I don't want people coming to the door, and they're going to sit there. The greeter is going to sit there until about 10 minutes after we get started up here. Make sense? Okay, we got any stragglers? I don't want them coming to an empty front desk, right? And an intro agent that's breaking the floor. It's introducing the speaker, okay? So, all right, guys, we're going to get started. There's going to be music. It's going to be an energy, what we call a momentum zone. It's a mo zone, okay? And we're going to get name badges as well, okay? Everybody's going to have an appreciation AF name badge. It's going to cost you probably $10, $13, okay? So we're going to get those ordered. $5, $15, $5. $5, $5, all right? Is that all right? Anybody need me to spot them? $5, it's okay? All right, so the trainer is going to conduct, we're going to have a training going on, right? Because it's okay to have referral sources that are maybe licensed or something like that. We're gonna attempt to get guys licensed that much faster. We're gonna show them if we show them how great the products and services are, they're gonna be willing to schedule appointments for you. That makes sense? So I want to have training taking place next door in Suite 6. So we're gonna need a trainer that's good. So when we break the floor, I will ask maybe if, I definitely want these lined up with guests, right? So at least 8 guests here, 4 and 4. I'll have a couple of current agents sit in here to just kind of help with the energy in the room. But I don't want agents taking the seats and the guests are sitting in the back. That make sense? Okay. Sit back there, newbie. Get out of my way. But I want a training taking place next door. Training for about half an hour. Okay, just to overcome like annuities 101, life insurance 101. Here's exactly how we put together a college funding strategy. Here's exactly how we protect the life insurance, protect the family life insurance wise. That make sense? Okay. So, so then they come back over afterwards, and we're setting these appointments. And so again, we'll be training on a lot of this stuff, guys. But somebody comes into our office and our environment, you want to be welcoming. Period. It doesn't matter. This is not just corporate overview applicable. That's anytime you meet somebody new here in the office, hey, who invites you out? Okay, great, who are you working with? That sort of thing. Have your energy be up, right? People do business with you off of your energy level. So a lot of times people say, well, I'm not doing business with me because I don't know about IULs. No, it's because your energy is low, right? You don't know about LOWs, right? Which is lows, your energy. You got to get that up. That makes sense? So when we're talking and meeting with new people, it's got to act as if somehow, some way you really appreciate this opportunity, right? Act as if they paid you $10,000 today, like they did me. That makes sense? I'm excited. You feel it? Right? Extra $10,000 in my bank account. That's exciting, right? So act as if we all have that same opportunity. Okay? So I just need your help on those. Obviously, it's August 6th. And the 20th, so Tuesdays and Tuesdays, right? In the month of September, I want to move towards doing it on a weekly basis. Think about it like this. If we get 4 or 5 new people enrolling in licensing every single week, that's a big deal. These are great referral sources for you. Now, this could be mortgage and real estate professionals, tax professionals. This is teachers, other school district staff that are looking to make a part-time income with you.
Right, and then the corporate overview is not limited to just AF Light, and anytime you have somebody that's interested in our opportunity, this is just another opportunity for us to get in front of them. But don't not invite people on Mondays and Fridays for us to meet with them on the one-on-ones or any other time. This is just for people who can't make it on a Monday or Friday after the meeting, then, or in the afternoon, just for me or Brett, then they can do the corporate overview.
Right.
But don't wait for the corporate overview to start recruiting or pushing back, meeting with somebody 3 weeks out because we have a corporate overview coming. This is just another opportunity.
So somebody, you pique somebody's interest or you talk with them briefly, I'm not waiting until August 6th to talk with them about that. Make sense? Right? I'm saying, hey, listen, why don't I schedule, I want to introduce you to, my trainer, my regional, my managing vice president, whoever. I want to introduce you to that person and let's talk about possibly making some money together. Make sense?
Yeah, you don't have to get into specifics about AF Light, if it's part-time,
Right.
full-time. We can sort that out because just right now, I know that out of this people in the room right now, he's recruited more people than anybody in our company. So if I'm gonna have a recruiting meeting, I'm gonna use the tools in the upline in my trainer. Hey, can you sit down with this person? Cause I wanna make sure I give that person the same opportunity that was given to me. And if I think I might mess it up, well, he's the best recruiter in the company, so I'm gonna make sure I put him in good hands. And you guys have that same opportunity to build your team. He's helping me build my team, and he'll help you build your team as well.
Awesome. Alright guys, we're a little bit over time agreement wise, yes ma'am?
I have a suggestion. So before before it starts at 6:30, maybe have them come like 15 minutes earlier so we can do like a little, talk to them, icebreaker, let them feel welcome, and then let them.
Literally says that, right?
Oh, that's,
He said
That's a great
show up at
idea.
6:50.
That's a great idea.
If you're bringing someone, show up at 6:50.
Okay.
That was the first thing he said.
That's awesome, Liza.
No worries, no worries. Hey, it's in your calendar, but I agree with you, obviously, right? So, it's alright, great job. No, let's do that, okay? Well, pregame, that's the part. I was like, I know I'm missing something. Guys, we gotta get together at 5:45 and pregame. If you don't have a guest, you get here at 5:45. That makes sense? Okay? So that's when we were saying, hey, we